top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signs 2 new laws for senior citizens and the private sector. The Department of Justice, or DOJ, states that the cancellation of expelled Congressman Arnolfo Arnie Teves Jr.'s passport is now final and executory. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. wants the plebiscite for the controversial economic charter change to be held simultaneously with the 2025 midterm elections. And Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky reveals that 31,000 of their soldiers have been killed since Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, February 26, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Arnie Delgado. First in the news. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday signed into law Republic Act or RA 11981 or the Tatak Pinoy Act and RA 11982 granting benefits to octogenarians and nonagenarians. The signing was held at the ceremonial hall in Malacanang and witnessed by key palace officials as well as leaders of both the Philippine House of Representatives and the Senate. Nelma Ribohok reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Monday, February 26, signed into law Republic Act or RA 11981 or the Tatak Pinoy Act and RA 11982 granting benefits to octogenarians and nonagenarians. The signing was held at the ceremonial hall in Malacanang and witnessed by key palace officials as well as leaders of both the Philippine House of Representatives and the Senate. The grant of benefits to Filipino octogenarians expands the coverage of RA 10868 or the Centenarians Act of 2016 to include all Filipinos, whether residing in the Philippines or abroad, to be a recipient of a cash gift worth 10,000 pesos upon reaching the age of 80 and every 5 years thereafter or until the age of 95. The President explained the expansion of the coverage of the Centenarians Act is a homage to the Filipino trait of compassion and in the Philippine culture. This shows more kindness and compassion to the elderly.
We do, after all, stand on the shoulders of these giants. But they deserve more than cash in an envelope. What they should get is a support infrastructure that every society owes to its graying population.
Our fellow countrymen have divided views regarding the passing of this law.
Di kaya ko, biyuda na ako. Di makakatulong yung pambili ng bigas, pambili ng ulam, pantulong sa apo.
Maaga pa lang dapat ibigay na nila, ganun. Kahit hindi naman kami naghahanap ng ano, pag mabot kami ng 60, kahit 10K lang, okay lang eh. Diba? Kasi umabot ka lang sa panahon nga, umabot ka ng 60, parang napakaswerte mo na eh.
Dapat pagdating na lang ng 60 kasi pabata ng pabata yung namamatay ngayon eh.
Kulang na kulang po yun. Kung tutuusin. Kasi pag 80, halos hindi na yun trabaho at saka marami ng gamot.
President Marcos also signed into law the Tatak Pinoy Act. The said law upholds inclusive economic growth and development in the country by encouraging, supporting, and promoting the production and offering of local products and services of increasing diversity, sophistication, and quality by domestic enterprises that are globally competitive.
Tatak Pinoy is more than a branding exercise. It is about incubating and incentivizing great products that deserve to carry the Made in the Philippines trademark. It's not about simply slapping labels on goods and services, but showing their provenance proudly that they are Gawang Pinoy.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Retired Chief Justice Reynato Puno, chairperson of the Philippine Constitution Association or PhilConsa, bears his position on the contentious issue on economic charter change. He has been invited as one of the resource persons in the House Committee of the Whole deliberations on resolution of both Houses number 7, which aims to amend some economic provisions of the 1987 Constitution. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The House of Representatives has commenced its deliberations on resolution of both houses or RBH number 7, which aims to amend several economic provisions of the 1987 Constitution. Several economists and other experts have attended the hearing of the House Committee of the Whole. One of them is retired Chief Justice Reynato Puno, chairperson of the Philippine Constitution Association or PhilConsa. In his opening statement, he discussed Article 17, Section 1, Paragraph 1 of the 1987 Constitution. This provision states that any amendment to or revision of this Constitution may be proposed by the Congress upon a vote of 3/4 of all its members. The retired Chief Justice said this provision is fitting and proper for a unicameral Congress but not for a bicameral Congress.
This is our constitutional quandary, Your Honors. How to interpret this Article 17, Section 1(1) in a manner that is aligned with the intent of its framers and in accord with the will of the people when they ratified the 1987 Constitution.
He then presented his proposals to resolve this issue, particularly through a referendum or by letting the Supreme Court decide on the issue when the issue is ripe.
This issue can be brought for interpretation by the Supreme Court. Needless to state, the requirements of review by the Supreme Court should all be complied with. The requirement of ripeness of the issue, the requirement of standing of the parties, the showing of grave abuse of power. If all these requirements can be complied with, I am confident that the Supreme Court will settle the issue in the exercise of its power to interpret the Constitution.
Both the Senate's RBH number 6 and RBH 7 of the House propose similar amendments on economic provisions. However, the two differ on the part that says each House votes separately on the amendments. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Justice or DOJ Secretary Crispin Remulla has not yet received any extradition request from the United States government concerning the religious group leader Apollo Quiboloy. Remulla stated that they are awaiting such a request as part of the treaty between the Philippines and the U.S. Quiboloy has been identified as one of the most wanted individuals by the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation or FBI. Remulla emphasized that the Philippine government would comply with any extradition request made by the U.S. authorities.
It has to pass through a lot of channels also in the U.S. government. I think that besides the State Department, it has to pass through the FBI. No, the FBI first before it goes to the State Department for their embassy to relay to us any request. So that's one side of it.
In addition to the extradition issue, Remulla disclosed that there are still pending complaints against Quiboloy in the DOJ, including charges related to rape and cyber libel.
6 or 7 years na yan eh. Oo, tagal na yan. 7 years probably, baka more pa eh, baka mas mahigit pa eh. Locally, it is our call on the petition for review, but in terms of extradition, it is something beyond our control.
The Department of Justice, or DOJ, said that the cancellation of expelled Congressman Arnolfo Arnie Teves Jr.'s passport is now final and executory. Dante Amento tells us why.
Department of Justice or DOJ Chief Crispin Rimulya revealed on Monday, February 26, that due to failure to appear and file an appeal after 15 days when the court issued its order for the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA, the cancellation of passport of expelled Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Arnie Teves Jr. is now final and executory. The Manila Court Branch 51 ordered the cancellation of Teves' passport last February 8.
He's a fugitive from justice. He doesn't want to go home. So it's considered final. He has not appeared before the courts to contest the petition for the cancellation of the passport. Therefore, he has no personality to even appear in court and to ask for a reconsideration. That's why we consider it final and executory.
However, the DOJ has no timeline for when they would acquire jurisdiction over Teves, who is allegedly still in Timor-Leste.
We cannot give a definitive date, but we are just saying that we are working on it because the court's decision is there already. So there is no way that he can travel unless he's granted asylum by another country, which is very far from our imagination.
The former Solon is a fugitive from justice for the murder charges against him over the demise of Governor Roel Digamo and several civilians. The DOJ recently issued 2 alert list orders against Teves because of the arrest warrant and blue notice issued by Interpol last February 19. Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, have recently carried out a series of operations resulting in significant successes against insurgent groups in the country. From February 18 to February 24, 6 operations were conducted across various regions, leading to the neutralization of 10 members of the New People's Army, or NPA, and 3 members of the Dawla Islamiyah mounted group. These operations underscore the AFP's unwavering commitment to defeating the remnants of both communist and Islamist terrorist groups operating within Philippine borders. The AFP emphasizes that the cooperation and support of local communities and civilians play a crucial role in these efforts. Their involvement serves as a vital asset in combating terrorism and insurgency, as they provide valuable intelligence and assistance to the military. In light of these recent successes, the AFP extends a call to the remaining members of local terrorist and communist groups to surrender peacefully to the government.
Hindi po nawawala yung drive ng ating mga kasundaluhan to really finish the insurgency once and for all. So very important yan yung role ng ating civilians sa pagtulong sa ating sandatahang lakas, no? So they give us information in terms of the location ng armadong grupo. Malaki din yung ambag nila sa civilian natin in terms of the whole of nation approach na ating pinapatupad, no? Ginagawa ng pamahalaan para matuluyan na nating matuldukan ang insurgency problem natin sa bansa.
On Saturday, February 24th, former United States President Donald Trump secured a significant victory in South Carolina's Republican primary. Trump defeated former Governor Nikki Haley by a decisive 20 percentage point margin. During this race, the former president faced a strong opponent in Haley, a local favorite as a 2-time governor of the state. Despite previous Republican primary victories, the win over the state of South Carolina was vital for the former president. Based on previous elections, South Carolina is a key Republican primary state that is often a predictor of the party's nominee. Trump's success was attributed to acquiring endorsements and utilizing data-driven tactics. A month before the primary, Trump has secured the endorsements of 158 current and former South Carolina Republican officials. Meanwhile, Haley announced Saturday night that she would persist with her presidential campaign despite the loss in her home state. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Auralyn. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As both houses tackle the proposed economic charter change, the Senate leadership claims the president wants the Senate and the House to vote separately on the measure amid conflicting interpretations from lawmakers. This report will tell us why. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. wants the plebiscite for the controversial economic charter change to be held simultaneously with the 2025 midterm elections. This was according to Senate President Juan Miguel Mig-Zubiri following their private meeting with the President in Malacanang this morning.
Kung gagawin natin yan bago mag-eleksyon, gagastos po tayo ng 12 to 14 billion. Siya mismo, galing mismo sa kanya, sinabi niya, mas gusto niya sabay na lang sa halalan ng 2025. So pagka ganun, hindi po tayo kailangan magmamadali. So he asked Senator Sani Angara to look at the legal possibilities to be able to convince the COMELEC to add that rider question sa likod, sa back page ng balota, kasama ng mga party list representatives on the amendments of the Constitution.
Senator Sani Angara, who heads the subcommittee discussing the resolution of both houses number 6, earlier said that they plan to approve the measure not later than October to include the proposal in the preparation of ballots. The Commission on Elections previously declared that it cannot conduct a plebiscite in 2025 due to legal issues, but later on pronounced that they can handle the synchronized voting. The Senate chief adds the president wants the House to adopt the Senate version of the measure and for the two chambers to vote separately, as he reiterated that the Senate will take the lead in the effort. Several House members earlier criticized the Senate for explicitly stating in RBH number 6 that the two houses will have a separate voting and amending the charter.
Sabi niya, it should be voted upon separately. As a matter of fact, he wants the House to adopt our version. Very nice. It was a very good meeting.
For now, the Senate plans to tackle the measure in the plenary after the long holiday break and approve it before the Senate adjourns sine die on May 24.
Ayoko na naman lalagyan ito ng timeline na hindi na-abot yung timeline. Sabihin sinungaling po ako. But best efforts. We're saying is best efforts. Basta what is important is very clear din ang gusto ng Pangulo na isabay na lang sa halalan yung plebisito. Para sa ganun makasave po tayo. Hindi pa namin maitatapos itong March kasi we have only 3 weeks left. Ang dami pa namin iti-take up na mga mahalagang measures.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. Senator Robin Padilla has formally apologized to the Senate leadership over the intravenous drip session incident in his office last week involving his wife, TV personality Mariel Padilla. The lawmaker sent apology letters to Senate President Juan Miguel Mig-Zubiri and Senator Nancy Binay, who chairs the Senate Committee on Ethics. There, Padilla extends his sincere apologies if the issue has caused concern for the Senate leadership, his colleagues, and the institution. He adds that they will never intend to dishonor the Senate. Earlier, Padilla also sent apology letters to the heads of the Senate Medical and Dental Bureau and the Office of the Sergeant at Arms, expressing his regret over the issue.
Alam nyo, pigilan nyo na yung political issue na yan. Sa totoo lang. Ang dami natin dapat pag-usapan. Hindi siguro yung ganitong wala naman tayong
A lawmaker wants the Senate to launch an investigation into the alleged cyanide used by foreign fishermen in Bajo de Masinloc. Senator Francis Tolentino, in filing the resolution, expressed alarm over the incident, calling it an environmental terrorism. The lawmaker is also seeking an inquiry into the reported damages of coral reefs in the West Philippine Sea due to China's activities.
Kasi nakaka-alarma na tong 21,000 acres of coral reefs din na sinira, pero itong use of cyanide, mas mabigat po ito kasi I now consider this as environmental terrorism. Ang mangyayari niyan, yung testimonya ng mga, yung dating mangingisda, kung ganun karami yung kanilang napapangisda, simula nung gamitin ito, naglutangan na lang yung mga patay na isda, o yung naging epekto doon sa isdang nahuhuli, kung merong traces of cyanide.
In today's session, 23 senators voted in favor of the proposed Maritime Zones Act. The measure seeks to establish the country's maritime zones, archipelagic boundaries, and underwater features over which the Philippine government exercises sovereignty and jurisdiction. It also aims to protect the rights of Filipino fishermen and bolster the Philippines' claim in territorial disputes. Philippine National Police Chief Police General Benjamin Acorda Jr. has issued a directive for regional offices to escalate efforts in combating illegal logging and mining activities across the country. This directive comes in response to the recent landslide and flooding incidents that have occurred in various parts of Mindanao. In particular, the decision was prompted by the devastating landslide in Maco, Davao de Oro, where 98 bodies have been recovered and 8 individuals are still reported missing.
Because what we have seen in Davao, yung nag-landslide doon, I'm encouraging or I am directing all our regional offices, especially those with mining areas, yung mga irresponsible mining at saka yung mga walang mga papeles, please intensify.
A transportation leader has proposed an innovative solution to address the perennial issue of traffic congestion, integrating traffic rules and regulations into the elementary school curriculum. This forward-thinking suggestion aims to instill fundamental knowledge of traffic regulations in children, laying a solid foundation for discipline and responsible behavior on the roads. JP Nunez explains why.
A transport leader has raised a pertinent concern regarding the undisciplined behavior of many drivers, both in private and public vehicles on the roads. Orlando Marquez, the president of the Liga ng Transportasyon at Operators ng Pilipinas or LTOP, emphasized the urgent need for a massive information campaign to raise awareness about traffic rules and regulations. He proposed a proactive solution by suggesting the inclusion of basic traffic rules and regulations in the elementary curriculum, underlining the importance of educating children about road signage and instilling discipline from a young age.
Ang tamang edukasyon sa elementary pa lang dahil wala po tayong aral sa curriculum sa elementary, hindi kagaya sa Korea, sa Japan, lahat ng mauunlad na bansa. Kasama na sa curriculum ang transportation, regulation, and maintenance. Yung mga informative signboards.
This proposal has gained traction with positive feedback from President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Department of Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista. Marquez's initiative aims to address the root of the problem by nurturing responsible road behavior early on. Commuters also echo Marquez's sentiments, expressing concerns about the lack of discipline among some public transport drivers.
Yung iba is kung paano sila magmaneho, yung bilis, wala sa tama. Yung iba naman, biglang kumaka-counterflow, especially yung mga jeepneys natin.
Minsan po talagang mabilis. Parang nakakatakot na nga kung kaskasero.
President Marcos echoed the call for discipline among drivers, emphasizing the importance of modernizing public transportation alongside fostering a culture of responsible driving.
Ang bagong Pilipino ay disiplinado sa pagmamaneho. Nagbibigayan, may konsiderasyon sa kapwa, sumusunod sa batas, trapiko. Yan ang mga kailangan nating i-modernize din. Tama na yung mga madamot sa daan, mga nagbababa ng pasahero sa gitna ng daan, mga hindi ginagalang ang bike lane, hindi pinapadaan ng mga ambulansya, pagpapark sa tabi ng daan na nagiging obstruction sa daloy ng traffic.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Office of Admissions of the University of the Philippines made a significant announcement today, February 26, regarding the upcoming UP College Admission Test or UPCAT for the academic year 2025 to 2026. According to UP, the online application for the UPCAT will commence on April 15, 2024. The examination itself is scheduled to take place on August 10 and 11, providing prospective applicants with ample time to prepare. Applicants are advised to revisit the UPCAT portal in August 2023 with specific dates yet to be announced to complete Form 2B by inputting their grades. Furthermore, the university emphasized that candidates must submit a hard copy of their SF-10 or Form 138 to the UP Office of Admissions located in UP Diliman, Quezon City.
The first official figure of the number of Ukrainian casualties since it was invaded by Russia 2 years ago. Kat Dumaraos will tell us why.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky revealed on Sunday, February 25th, that 31,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed since Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. While it is not 300,000 or 150,000 as what Russian President Vladimir Putin claims, Zelensky stated that this is a big loss and a great sacrifice for Ukraine. Zelensky will not be disclosing the number of wounded or missing as it would help Russia's military planning. Tens of thousands of civilians have also been killed in Ukraine during the war. However, Kyiv does not have access to data and cannot accurately assess the scale of losses. War casualties are a highly sensitive topic in Ukraine as it regenerates its forces following an unsuccessful counteroffensive against Russian defenses last year. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Orlin Quijano, live from Toronto, Canada. Good evening.
In the latest from the hardcourt battlegrounds, the Senate defenders displayed dominance as they clashed fiercely against the DNR Warriors in yesterday's showdown, marking the third day of the quarterfinals in the UNTV Cup Season 10. Meanwhile, the Ombudsman Graft Busters stood firm, thwarting the AFP Cavaliers' bid to secure an immediate spot in the semifinals. Adding to the intensity of the matches, the NHA Home Masters emerged victorious in an overtime thriller against the GSIS Furies. JP Nunez will tell us why.
And out of their hands, actually. Yes, sir. That second spot is the one being fought for. Oh, a shot! Inside. Mercado loves that spot.
NHA Home Masters have finally broken free from their three-game losing streak, securing a crucial victory in the quarterfinals of the UNTV Cup Season 10. In a thrilling first match yesterday, they clinched a hard-fought win in overtime against the GSIS Furies with a score of 111 to 106. Alvin Vitog led the charge with an impressive 41 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists, including a crucial 8-point surge in the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, erasing the 7-point deficit and forcing the overtime period. Adding 10 more points in the 5-minute extension, NHA Home Masters revived their campaign for a spot in the semifinals. With this victory, they improved to an 8-6 win-loss record, securing the 4th spot, while the GSIS Furies, now at 6 wins and 8 losses, find themselves in a precarious position for advancement.
Kailangan namin stop yung shooter nila saka isang penetrator nila, pati yung low post man nila. So, kaya kailangan namin dumobol, kailangan namin humel. So, natupad naman, so nagkaroon sila ng mga lapses. So, na-convert naman namin yung mga lapses nila. Kada tanggap ng bola ng shooter nila, kailangan namin i-double. Kasi titira-titira mag-3 points. So, expect yung comeback namin. Nanalo na kami ngayon. So, yung susunod na dalawang laro, kailangan namin panalo para makahabol kami sa third and fourth.
quickly and think quickly. Veterano yung kanilang mga kalaban kaya
Screeching to a halt. Castro says, let me try.
Nice start for Castro.
In the second game, the Ombudsman Graftbusters thwarted the defending champions' bid for a semi-finals ticket, defeating the AFP with a score of 92-86. Samuel Ignacio with 20 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks, alongside Yurick Bamba Florino, who contributed 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 blocks, emerged as the best players of the game. The Ombudsman's victory propelled them to third place with an 8-6 win-loss record, but they still need to win their remaining 2 games to secure a spot in the semis.
Nagpahinga lang kami and then nag-practice kami. Sa practice, wala kaming inisayo kundi depensa. And then sabi ko sa kanila, yung opensa namin nandun naman lagi. Laging gagaan ang opensa namin. Underman si AFP, no? So, mas malalim ang bench namin eh. So sabi ko sa kanila, pagurin nyo na yung sarili nyo kasi mayroon naman tayong mga players mo sa bench eh. May available eh. So ginawa namin, talagang tinakbuhan namin. Kailangan namin na trabahuin yung pick and roll nila, yung ball screen nila. So nakuha naman namin ano. At saka yung mga switching defense namin. Ibig sabihin, nagawa nila yung ginawa namin sa practice.
The AFP, despite remaining atop the standings with a 10-4 record, must win at least one of their last 2 games to maintain their championship defense hopes alive.
Nagkaroon kami ng actually konting lapses lang, especially dun sa defense. Bago, nagkaroon din ng momentum yung kalaban. Kaya yun, hindi kami nakapag-adjust lang agad. So, yung Ombudsman, talagang yung eagerness nila to win, nandun eh. Nawala lang yung namin, yung agresibo siguro namin.
Ganda ng drive. Protest yan, protest. Oh. Safety. Oh. Ayan.
He's getting his minutes right away.
In the third game, the Senate defenders dominated the DENR Warriors, climbing the second spot in the standings with a commanding 92-55 victory. Clark Torrente with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks, and Harry Petillos, who contributed 14 points, 6 rebounds, and assists, were hailed as the best players of the game. Both the Senate and DENR, with 8 wins and 6 losses each, must secure victories in their last 2 matches to secure coveted semi-final slots. The Warriors battled valiantly despite grappling with injuries plaguing some of their key players, demonstrating their resilience on the court.
Well, obviously, yung Senate nakapag-prepare talaga sa amin. So, congratulations sa Senate defenders. Talagang maganda yung takbo ng laro nila. Ayaw ko naman ng mga excuses, but yung mga players kasi namin hindi 100%. So, ang daming may mga injury. So, minamanage lang namin yung playing time. But nakita ko naman yung effort ng mga players. So, thankful na din ako na at least naman lang kami, nakapaglaro. At sana by Wednesday makarecover yung mga injured players namin.
Nakakuha kami ng kumpiyansa last game sa game namin sa Ombudsman. So nakuha namin yung na kailangan namin itakbo next game. So which is dito sa DNR, kailangan namin focus sa defense, kailangan namin i-share yung bola sa isa't isa. Kailangan namin maging unselfish to win the basketball game.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our kasambahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Romans, chapter 4, verse 7, it says, saying, blessed are they whose iniquities are forgiven, and whose sins are covered. And those are the reasons behind the news, February 26, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold, because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Hardin Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
We do, after all, stand on the shoulders of these giants. But they deserve more than cash in an envelope. What they should get is the support infrastructure that every society owes to its graying population.
This issue can be brought for interpretation by the Supreme Court. Needless to state, the requirements of review by the Supreme Court should all be complied with. The requirement of ripeness of the issue, the requirement of standing of the parties, the showing of grave abuse of power. If all these requirements can be complied with, I am confident that the Supreme Court will settle the issue in the exercise of its power to interpret the Constitution.
It has to pass through a lot of channels also in the U.S. government. I think that besides the State Department, it has to pass through the FBI. No, the FBI first before it goes to the State Department for their embassy to relay to us any request. So that's one side of it.
So very important yan yung role ng ating civilian sa pagtulong sa ating sa sandatahang lakas, no? So they give us information in terms of the location ng armadong grupo. Malaki din yung ambag nila sa civilian natin in terms of the whole of nation approach na ating pinapatupad, no? Ginagawa ng pamahalaan para matuluyan na nating matuldukan ang insurgency problem natin sa bansa.
Kung gagawin natin yan bago mag-eleksyon, gagastos po tayo ng 12 to 14 billion. Siya mismo, galing mismo sa kanya, sinabi niya, mas gusto niya sabay na lang sa halalan ng 2025. So pagka ganun, hindi po tayo kailangan magmamadali. So he asked Senator Sani Angara to look at the legal possibilities to be able to convince the COMELEC to add that rider question sa likod, sa back page ng balota, kasama ng mga party list representatives on the amendments of the Constitution.
Ayan nyo, tigilan nyo na yung political issue na yan. Sa totoo lang. Ang dami natin dapat pag-usapan. Hindi siguro yung ganitong wala naman tayong
Because what we have seen in Davao, yung mga nag-landslide doon, I'm encouraging or I am directing all our regional offices, especially those with mining areas, yung mga irresponsible mining, at saka yung mga walang mga papeles, please intensify.
Ang tamang edukasyon sa elementary pa lang dahil wala po tayong aral sa curriculum sa elementary, hindi kagaya sa Korea, sa Japan, lahat ng mauunlad na bansa. Kasama na sa curriculum ang transportation, regulation, and maintenance. Yung mga informative signboards,